Okay, let's talk about what to do if you need repairs at your rental home. If there are things that are not working or things that are damaged that you need your landlord to fix. Let's first talk about what your landlord's responsibilities are, because this is important for you to know what things might be your landlord's responsibility or what things might be your responsibility. Under Florida law, the landlord has two categories of responsibilities, or two main responsibilities. Your landlord has to comply with your lease, of course, if you have a written lease. If there is no lease or if there are differences, your landlord also has to comply with any local housing, property, safety, or maintenance codes. Here in Duval County, for example, we have a pretty comprehensive property safety and maintenance code. Landlords have to comply with that. If your landlord is not complying with your lease or with the local housing code, you have two options. The law gives tenants the options to either withhold rent until the landlord comes into compliance and makes all the repairs that are needed, or you can terminate your lease early and move out without any penalties if the landlord doesn't make all of the repairs that are needed. But in order to exercise either of those rights, in order to withhold rent or terminate your lease, you must give written notice to your landlord. And the Florida Supreme Court has approved forms for this. There are court-approved forms that you can print out and that you can use and fill in blanks. You don't have to start over and write your own letter. And these forms are on Jacksonville Area Legal Aid's website, and we make them available for this reason. But there's a form, and it's a 7-day notice that you must give to your landlord. You must give your landlord a notice that says basically, here are the things that you need to repair. Here are the things that are not in compliance with either the lease or the local code. And you need to repair these within 7 days, or else this is what I'm going to do. And you either give the notice that says you'll withhold rent until the things are repaired, or you give the notice that says you'll terminate the lease and move out if the things are not repaired. So you must give your landlord that written notice, and you must give your landlord that 7 days to make the repairs. Only if the repairs are not made within the 7 days may you then hold back rent that comes due, or consider your lease terminated and move. So how do you find out whether your landlord is in compliance with the local housing or property maintenance code? Well, the best way to find out, and the first step to take if there's a serious problem in your rental property, is to call the city of Jacksonville if you live in Duval County. If you live in Duval County, the number to call is 630-CITY, 630-CITY. That's the number to call to ask the city to come out and do an inspection to determine if there are any code violations at your rental property. If there are code violations that are your landlord's responsibility, that is a reason for you to either withhold rent or terminate your lease if you wish to do that. But again, you must give your landlord written notice before you do either of those things. But that's the best way to find out if you have grounds to withhold your rent or to terminate your lease, is to call the city, have them do an inspection, because if the city determines that there are code violations, you have then the evidence that you need and the grounds that you need to take action. If you withhold your rent from your landlord after giving the 7-day notice that you're required to give and after waiting the 7 days to allow your landlord to make repairs, if the repairs aren't made and you withhold your rent, it's very, very important that you keep that rent money. Keep it available, make sure it doesn't get spent, make sure it doesn't get lost or stolen, and you don't have to put it into the court right away. There's a common misconception that you go and you put your rent in escrow. Well, you just hold on to that rent. You'll have to put it into the court registry if your landlord files an eviction case against you. But only if an eviction case is filed do you put the rent into the court registry. If you withhold your rent from your landlord, keep it available someplace safe in your bank account or someplace safe, and make sure it's available so that you can put it into the court registry. Because if your landlord files an eviction case saying that you didn't pay your rent, if you've gone through this process correctly, you will have a good defense, but you must have the rent to deposit in court in order to defend the eviction case.